and to imply that we should just ignore the impact that Caitlin Clark had on this team, this league, this sport. Nah, it doesn't work that way.
The WNBA went into a frenzy after basketball legend Sue Bird reversed her stance on Caitlin Clark.
Sue Bird calls out ESPN host for, quote, hating on WNBA playoff ratings after Caitlin Clark's exit. You say, what? Why?
That's right, Sue Bird, who once backed Caitlin, called out Stephen A. Smith, claiming the WNBA is doing just fine without her while Caitlin might be eyeing a move to Europe and enjoying a break. Sue insists the numbers remain huge, a claim that simply isn't true.
Racism has been impacting the WNBA well before this year. This is not a new thing. Sure. This is, in that way, I do think Caitlin's being used as a pawn. Caitlin didn't bring racism to the WNBA. This has been happening, and that, I think, is what's been such a shock for all of us.
That was Sue defending Caitlin, but it seems she's had enough. Caitlin's absence has sparked an uproar on social media, with fans demanding her return and vowing to stop watching the WNBA.
Viewership numbers with Caitlin Clark are astronomical. She is a big draw. She brings in all the things. And yes, the games where she's not playing have lower viewership. But in the WNBA playoffs are still breaking records from previous WNBA years.
The facts are clear without Caitlin. The WNBA is sliding back to reality. Every game she's missed has seen viewership drop, yet Sue insists her time away from basketball won't cause any issues at all.
They don't want it to grow if it's certain people at the face. And there is still this undertone of jealousy that for some reason I cannot get around calling it anything else but that, because I don't know what else it could be. I thought it was going to get better this season, but it hasn't. There are still people who seemingly, to me, feel like they just don't want Caitlin to be a part of it.
Rachel DEA made a strong point. WNBA legends don't want the sport to grow with Caitlin as the face. They'd rather return to square one than face the competition she brings.
What's the problem, Sue Bird? I know that you gave her props and you acknowledged how phenomenal she was in terms of a draw. What Shannon Sharp and I were guilty of saying was that not enough folks were appreciating it.
Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA was nothing short of transformative, but once she exited the playoffs, it felt like the league lost its heartbeat. With rumors of a move to Europe growing, the WNBA could be in serious trouble. Sue Bird, a WNBA legend, initially had nothing but praise for Clark, calling her a game changer. In her early remarks, Bird made it clear Caitlin wasn't just another rookie. She was a player capable of revolutionizing women's basketball.
4 moved home games to bigger arenas when Indiana came to town to accommodate more fans. I'm not finished. Attendance for the entire league is up nearly 50% this year, and Indiana leads all teams with an average attendance of 17,035, up 319% from a year ago.
The playoffs took an unexpected twist when Sue Bird began downplaying Clark's impact, a surprise from someone who had once praised her so highly. Suddenly, Bird claimed Caitlin's presence hadn't really boosted WNBA viewership, despite clear evidence to the contrary, and suggested the league's struggles had little to do with her absence. The shift left many fans confused and even outraged. One person who has stood firmly in Clark's corner is Stephen A. Smith. Known for his bold takes and unfiltered commentary, Smith didn't hold back when Clark exited the playoffs, making it clear her absence had a major effect.
Let's just say the ratings aren't the same with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever now eliminated. Game 1 of the Aces Liberty matchup on Sunday drew an average of 929,000 viewers. Was down nearly 50% from last Sunday's Fever Sun contest. By the way, not only was viewership down, but attendance was as well.
For Stephen A. Smith, Clark's absence wasn't just about one player leaving, it was about the WNBA losing its biggest draw. He highlighted the sharp drop in viewership since her exit, stressing that the league needed to acknowledge her value and work to elevate players like her to keep the momentum alive. But Sue Bird wasn't having it. She publicly challenged Smith, arguing it was wrong to pin the playoff ratings drop solely on Clark's absence. Bird insisted multiple factors were at play and that the playoffs' hype wasn't dependent on a single player. Her rebuttal sparked a heated debate, with Smith standing firm that Clark was the main source of playoff excitement, while Bird countered that the WNBA was bigger than any one star, even one as impactful as Caitlin Clark.
A lot of this noise came by people that were sitting on this network. They tried to minimize her, said, well, you giving her all this credit. What about the women that came before her? What the women came before her, what they did cannot be taken away. That ain't got nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. But there was a lot of people tried to make sure they keep Caitlin Clark in her place, because what you're doing, if you give her all this shine, you minimize what they done. We saw the ratings, we saw the merchandise sales, we saw the attendance, but y'all want to make it about something else.
Sue Bird didn't stop at challenging Stephen A. Smith. She doubled down, refusing to concede that Caitlin Clark's absence was the main reason for the WNBA's ratings drop. Even as viewership plunged after Clark's exit, Bird insisted it wasn't all about her. This refusal frustrated many fans, especially since the numbers told a different story. Ratings soared when Clark played and fell sharply when she didn't. Bird's claims of other causes didn't sit well with those closely following the playoffs, who saw a clear link between Clark's departure and the dip in excitement. Still, Bird held her ground, unwilling to give Clark the credit many felt she deserved.
Caitlin Clark has created more buzz around the basketball landscape and has actually transformed and revived a league that was the WNBA, and she is getting paid a measly $28 million.
The disconnect between Sue Bird and the fans grew clearer as the debate over Caitlin Clark's impact raged on. Bird's refusal to acknowledge Clark's influence made many feel the WNBA's veterans were out of touch with the league's reality. Fans drawn in by Clark's performances now felt alienated by the very legends they once admired. For many, it was troubling that Bird, once viewed as a mentor to younger players, was downplaying Clark's significance. It raised questions about whether the WNBA was ready to evolve or if it remained stuck in the past, hesitant to fully embrace the next generation of stars. From the moment Clark stepped into the league, it was obvious she was something different.
Don't y'all want a greater profile? Don't y'all want more notoriety? Don't y'all want more hype? I understand that it's going on still without her now that she's out of the playoffs because the games have been great. But the fact of the matter is, she swelled the interest in the sport.
Her games drew massive audiences, her social media reach was unmatched, and her ability to connect with fans set her apart from most of her peers. Yet despite all this, the WNBA seemed reluctant to fully embrace the Caitlin Clark effect, whether due to internal politics, jealousy from other players, or simply refusing to acknowledge her star power. The league failed to capitalize on the surge of interest she brought. Instead of promoting her as the face of the WNBA, they let her rise without the full push of their promotional machine, a costly mistake, as viewership quickly crumbled once Clark exited the playoffs.
Caitlin Clark effect is definitely real. I mean, we can all see that. However, experiencing it in person is totally different. I was at the Fever in Indiana game last night, and the amount of 22s that I saw on the way to the arena and inside the Capital One Arena might as well have just been a home game for Caitlin Clark. Not Indiana, Caitlin Clark. The thing is, that didn't surprise me. But what did surprise me was how packed the game was.
By failing to fully recognize the Caitlin Clark effect, the WNBA missed a golden chance to grow its audience and cement its place in the sports world. Instead, it's now dealing with falling ratings, frustrated fans, and a lack of buzz around its biggest events. The league's reluctance to embrace Clark's star power has left it in a risky position, one that may be hard to recover from. Through it all, Stephen A. Smith has been one of Clark's loudest supporters. While others have downplayed or dismissed her impact, Smith has consistently called out what he views as an agenda against her. He's pointed to how the league treats Clark differently, whether it's on-court targeting, lack of off-court promotion, or opponents singling her out with hard fouls while overlooking her in league-wide recognition.
Stephen A., respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to.
All right, we gotta go.
Stephen A., I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you.
Wow.
Don't do that. I'm talking to you about the power that you have.
Really
you
appreciate
missed my girl, but you've missed a lot of episodes of First Step.
As the controversy over Caitlin Clark's treatment in the WNBA grows, more fans are urging her to leave the league entirely. They argue she'd be better off in the EuroLeague, where she'd likely get more respect and stronger financial opportunities. In Europe, they believe her talent would be fully appreciated. Without the constant targeting and mistreatment she faces in the WNBA, this movement is gaining momentum, with many pushing for her to make the jump sooner rather than later. To them, the WNBA has shown its true colors, and Clark deserves a league that truly values her skills and contributions.
Could be a team overseas who would love to snatch Caitlin Clark away from us and give her a crazy offer. I mean, Ice Cube was about to give her $5 million to play in less than 10 games in the Big Three. So the money is there, and if these owners are smart with it, I could definitely see more WNBA players going overseas and possibly not return.
The financial opportunities in Europe are another big reason fans want Caitlin Clark to consider leaving the WNBA. While the league has failed to fully capitalize on her star power, the EuroLeague could offer her a more lucrative career along with the respect she deserves as one of the best in women's basketball. In Europe, fans believe she could focus solely on dominating the court and growing her brand, free from the petty politics and jealousy that have plagued her WNBA tenure. It's no secret Clark's dominance has made her a target some legends and current players, instead of embracing the higher level of competition she brings, have openly suggested the league would be better off without her even at the cost of viewership. To them, Clark is too good, making the league more competitive than they'd like. Her ability to raise the game's standard threatens players used to being the top stars, and rather than welcoming her, they see her as a disruptor to the status quo. This jealousy has fueled a growing push from some players to drive Clark out of the WNBA, even if it means fewer fans watching.
All I know, when they got eliminated from the playoffs, the attendance dropped, the ratings dropped. If WNBA is more, it is, and I get it. Why aren't people watching?
What's even more shocking is that some players are willing to accept lower viewership if it means not facing Caitlin Clark. This mindset exposes a deeper problem in the WNBA rather than pushing the league to grow and improve. Some would rather see it stay stagnant to avoid the intense competition. Clark brings the fact that they'd sacrifice fan interest for less competition says a lot about the league's current state. While the focus should be on growth and attracting new audiences, certain players seem more concerned with protecting their own dominance, even if it hurts the league's overall success.
I feel like after the break, I still don't think she's dominating, but she's a different player than she was in the first half of the season.
Despite all the opposition she's faced, Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA has been overwhelmingly positive. She's brought in new fans, boosted viewership, and made the game more competitive. Her ability to shine a spotlight on women's basketball is unmatched, making her a beacon of hope for the sport's future on the court. Her performances have been nothing short of spectacular, and her connection with fans has made her one of the league's most beloved players. Yet, despite these contributions, the WNBA and some of its legends continue to downplay her influence. Instead of celebrating her success, they seem intent on minimizing it, a refusal that's not only unfair to Clark, but also harmful to the league's growth.
To me, Angel may have exceeded expectations, even more so than Caitlin.
Caitlin Clark's playoff exit has undeniably shaken the WNBA. Viewership has dropped, and some of the league's biggest names still refuse to acknowledge her importance. With fans urging her to head to Europe and the league struggling to bounce back from her absence, one thing is certain: Clark's legacy will continue to shape the future of women's basketball, whether the WNBA is ready to accept it or not. If you enjoyed this, leave a like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.